Live.
Hello, everybody.
Happy New Year! I'm
Happy
drunk.
New
No, I'm not.
Year. Well, not yet.
So I am with Brian from Brian's Massey's Entertainment and Morris from Morris Gotro's channel. I'm just going to check my Facebook because I want this to stream on Facebook too. So Brian's going to take over for a couple of minutes and introduce himself and tell us about your year, Brian, and then Morris, you can afterwards. So.
Like Larry said, Brian from Massey's Main Entertainment. I have a channel that I've been working on for 3 or 4 years, and we post all sorts of different stuff on there. Top 10 songs, top 10 albums. We counted down a top 100 movies at one point. And we're working on some other projects. I got one with Sam St. John coming up where we're doing a review of the album Brat by Charlie XCX, since that seems to be the #1 album on like every chart that's out there right now. And this was like the first time I've even listened to the album in this last week. So I just wanted to see what all the hubbub was about. Larry's making me talk. I don't understand why he's doing that. That's just that wasn't in the contract, to be quite honest. It wasn't in the contract. I should read all the fine print from now on. Morris, what do you got going on?
Well, my name's Morris Gotro, and I have my own channel here, and I talk mostly about music. My channel could be about pretty much whatever's on the top of my mind, things I like to talk about, but I like to keep the positive, try to be uplifting. I love doing my channel. I love the all the responses I'm getting. I'm just trying to grow a community, and I'm loving every minute of it. Oh yeah,
Loving every minute of it.
Woo, Loverboy, right?
Yeah. Happy New Year, Greg. Hiya, folks. Greg Gates. Yeah, so this should be streaming on my Facebook too.
Excellent.
And reviews. Hello.
Yeah.
So, Larry,
a lot of familiar names in the chat.
Yep.
Did you have a favorite 5 albums this year that you had?
Well, talk about the subject matter here. I'm prepared. So
awesome.
do you mean new releases or just anything?
Your pick first.
Okay. Well, first of all, I will say I didn't really get too many box sets this year, but this one, if you're a fan of the Rascals, I keep bringing this up. This is a superb box set of all of their early albums remastered, and there's a really nice booklet. And
nice.
The one thing I love about the Rascals, in the 60s, a lot of times they'd have studio musicians doing most of the music. This band, they actually played on their albums. That's how talented they were. Another one, as you know, I'm a huge Beach Boys fan this year. I've always really liked them, but this year, and I think my favorite is actually the Beach Boys Love You, which I just saw yesterday. Brian Wilson was asked what his favorite Beach Boys album was, and he said this one. He didn't.
Is that
say
right? What year did that come out, Larry?
75, I believe.
75.
It's different. So it takes a few listens, but I really love it. For new albums, nothing beats John Anderson and the Band Geeks' True. If you love Yes, this is just like classic Yes. It is so good. And the Band Geeks, great musicians.
I'll
of course,
get it when I see it.
Just a second here. The contract clearly states on page 98, paragraph 5, subsection 12, that Larry can change the contract at his discretion. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, you're right, Michael. I've got to start getting a lawyer to look at these things.
I'm playing the Beatles on another device. Adam Findlay, welcome. It's Americana Sam. Howdy, fellas. Yeah,
hey, Sam.
Americana Sam St. John. I just watched his video yesterday on that new Boom Dylan movie, and I've heard really good things about it.
I have
too. I'm not really into biopics, but
Sam, you should be listening to your Charlie XCX. You don't have time to goof off.
Yeah. Okay, now back to me. And of course, also this year, I've become a huge fan of Ween. And Morris, tell the public what I did. What is that you have? Who sent you that, Morris?
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Larry, for sending that. I do love it. I think it's awesome. I really do. I
Yeah.
really do.
So what did you think the first
I
time you
played
heard
it.
it?
I played it at least 4 times now,
Yeah.
and it does get better. It's just
Yeah.
when you first put it on, that first song is so misleading, and it's like it's so like it's yeah, it's something to get through. But I love it. I don't know. It's a hard album to explain. It really is, and
Yeah.
it may be my strangest album that I own. I
Yeah.
think it might be the strangest album I own. I have some pretty strange albums, but this is different. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Brian, have you heard the pod?
Oh yeah,
You're,
I've heard.
you're the one that
I've
gave me the Quebec as a.
yeah, I was the
You're
one
the
who
one
turned
that
you on to
started me
Ween.
on my Ween journey.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've
What,
run their discography. I love them. I think they're
yeah.
great.
So what's your favorite album by Ween?
It's probably the Mollusk, and then
That's what I hear.
then
Yeah.
Quebec. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be my favorite. And then I like the white pepper one.
Yeah.
I think that's such a good album. Such a good album.
I'll
Kukaracha is
get
good.
them. I'll get them.
Yeah. The one thing I've heard is their last album, La Carucha. It's
Yeah.
not that good. What do you think about it?
There's a couple tracks that are decent on there,
Yeah.
but it's not to the same standard.
Yeah.
You could tell it was like a lot of B-side stuff kind of thrown in there, you know. Yeah.
I Am the Stallion, whatever that
Yeah.
means.
But I can tell you guys one thing. There is that this year alone, before the year began, I did not have a single Beatles album. And just during this year alone, during 2024, I ended up getting all these Beatles albums. I have a little bit more. I still have the Stargrove ones, which I don't really count,
Yeah.
but I have them. And of course, Larry sent me a long while ago. He sent that to me, so I like it. I love the second CD to it too. I need to play this more often, but I do actually really like this. So thank you for that, Larry.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But yeah, just this year alone, I got into the Beatles.
Yeah.
Nice. It's never too late.
Two other ones. I'm into the band Can this year a lot. I love them. And King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I have, I think, 5 of their albums. I want to get their latest one, like on CD, but you can only get it through their official site, which is fine. It's like $30, but the shipping and handling ends up being like $60 or $70.
Yeah,
and forget it.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Oh yeah, I love that.
That's a good one too. And one other one, I kind of forgot about this because it came out earlier in the year, and I played it last night, and it is just so good. It is Paul McCartney, One Hand Clapping. It's like Jet. It's all live, like in a studio, but just not in front of an audience. Junior's Farm, The Long and Winding Road, Lady Madonna, Live and Let Die, 1985, 2 CDs. It is just superb.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Larry bought 10 Can albums, and I think I'm only missing one of the studio albums. Yeah.
So what's your favorite Can? Future Days?
Future Days, Tego Mago, and Monster Movie too, although it took a few listens because that first singer, the first singer, he's not the greatest singer, right? But he suits the band for some reason. Yeah, Monster Movie.
I agree.
Are you into Can, Brian?
Yep.
Yeah.
I listen to quite a bit of their stuff.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, even their later stuff is good, Yeah. Yeah, I like Future Days. Yeah.
And I agree with you, Larry, when you said that this is your best sounding album.
Yeah.
Like I did listen to this again a couple of times actually this week, and it really is. It just sounds so good. I love this so much. No, I agree with that.
Nice.
Nice hat. Thank you, John. So, Brian, what are some of your favorite releases for the year?
If you talk about new releases,
Anything.
I like the Lemon Twigs new album,
Yeah.
which is a Dream Is All We Know. That sounds very Beatlesque and Beach Boys. If you listen to it, you would think it was released in 1968. The production's about similar. I like the Smiles new album, Wall of Eyes. That's basically Radiohead, 2.0 is pretty much what it is. Casey Musgraves, who's kind of a country Americana artist. Deeper Well, her album was really good. Michael Kuwanaka is kind of a neo soul guy. And then Godspeed You, Black Emperor's new album was really good too. If people are into post rock type of sounds and stuff like that. My wife bought me the Waterboys Fisherman's Blues, which I did not own on vinyl, for Christmas. So I was very excited about that. And I also got a copy of Gene Clark's No Other, which a lot of people I know are big fans of. So
Yeah. Molly's at home watching this on Facebook, I believe. So maybe she'll drop by with a comment. So Morris, tell us about your year in music besides the Beatles.
Really get any like stuff from 2024? Not that I can recall. I remember like during this year, I had ordered quite a bit of Sparks. I had gotten, of course, the Angst in My Pants, the Womp That Sucker. So a lot of my newer Sparks that, yeah. And I'm in January. I'll be ordering at least 3 more for sure. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like Indiscreet in Outer Space, and there was another one I wanted to. I'm forgetting right now, but I know there's some extra Sparks I want to order this year for sure, this new year. But when I don't know, it's just basically getting the. I got this year, all this that was during 2024. Uh, Quite a few of the 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 King Gizzard I got this year. Yeah, it's just mostly those, and then the stuff I found here and there at Spin It because I did get a lot of stuff here. One of my favorite ones is actually the B-52s that I got. I got the Time Capsule. It's actually really really good. I actually enjoyed that quite a bit. I got some Bee Gees. I got some Buddy Holly. So for me, I got a couple of Rye Cooters that I got this year. And that's because of Glenn Calloway recommending that.
Oh,
Because
don't mention him.
yeah, I love the Rye Cooter. So yeah. So I didn't get anything actually like new from this year, but I got a lot of awesome albums this year.
you need to put a disclaimer down below that says you need to write down it says Larry does not support Morris's opinion of Glenn Calloway.
Yeah.
As a joke.
That's funny. That's funny. No, I love Glenn.
He's a nice guy. We just like to razz him.
He's just annoying. Okay. But another band that Morris likes that I haven't listened too much of is Belle and Sebastian. Do you know them, Brian?
Oh, excellent.
I'm a huge fan of Belle and Sebastian.
Tiger Milk, great album by them. If You Feel Sinister.
That's their debut album.
Yeah, and Boy with the Arab Strap, which don't ask me to explain to people what an Arab strap is.
That's one of my favorites. It's up there.
Yeah. Good band. Good sound.
I did on my channel. I did a tier list of my Belle and Sebastians, so you can see which ones I like the most and which ones are mediocre in that. But I love them. I love them all. I pretty much have everything right now. So anything new that comes out, I'm going to be getting it for sure. Yeah, they're very. I think they're a very underrated and under the radar band. They have their fans, but yeah, they should have been more popular than what they are. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah.
There's nothing that they haven't written that I don't like.
Now, at some point during this live chat, I do have a bit of wine. This is actually my second glass because it's New Year's Eve and we're celebrating. That's my excuse. I'm going
Well,
to
I
have
just had some alcohol just before doing this.
Morris, no drinking on my live chat.
No, I'm not drinking on the live chat. I drank before with my brother. I made a video where that concoction I had made.
This is not vodka at all mixed in
Yeah,
here.
right. So I'm going to have a shot of this at some point during the live chat. It's actually nice. It's a nice.
And just earlier, just not even about maybe an hour before coming on live here, me and my brother, we had a little puff in the backyard.
What do you mean by puff? You
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 know,
had some tomato soup,
the little
which
green
is
trees, they
legal.
call it.
Hooch.
The little green trees, you know. But just just to celebrate, and I'm pretty much not going to touch it again until my birthday. That was just for I only smoke on occasions.
So that is why you've been calling Brian Sarah. Now I understand.
Now we know.
Okay, Radiohead or Coldplay? Easily Radiohead.
Coldplay.
Easily Radiohead.
Right.
I will say though that
I
new Coldplay video with Dick Van Dyke is very moving. The guy is what 98 years old or something.
Is it? Yeah, is he 90? Is he 92? Something like that, or
I
For
think he's older.
Coldplay, I really love ghost stories. I think that's my favorite one. Ghost stories.
I don't mind a rush of blood to the head by them. That's not a
good
bad
too.
album, but yeah.
I'm going to have a rush of blood to the head in a few minutes.
Yes, Ethan. See, check out Bell and Sebastian. You're gonna love it. I'm sure you will. They have a bit of a variety of music. Not all their albums are the same. They do have a little bit of flexibility.
It's gluten free.
Yeah.
Right.
They're really doing it up. Puff the magic dragon lives by the sea. Thank you.
I also want to mention that I am a Patreon with Larry Graves, and I love giving him stuff for the radio show. Now, I don't want to give any spoilers for that, of course, but I do have a list here of songs I will be giving. Me and my brother were talking about that earlier because we're always trying to find the right songs for the radio show, but I love to try to find those a little bit more obscure deep cuts rather than the basic, the more of those I can find, the better. Like little oddball stuff here and there. Like what I gave for the last radio show, I think I put the Martian Hop from 1960 something.
I'd never even heard that.
Yeah. Me and my brother, we just love that. It's just one of those silly old golden oldie song that is just like it's fun. So I had to put it in the radio show.
Yep. Dick just died at 100 this week. No, Dick Van Dyke didn't pass away. I know
thought it was Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter,
at 100.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter. That's what I heard.
Yeah. If I lived to be 100, I would say, yeah, I'm done now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Time to go.
Remember that, like the old man on South Park, where he's trying to get Stan to kill him because he's so old.
I've never seen South Park.
Oh my, it's hilarious. His grandfather is so old; he keeps trying.
Yes,
to get
Ernest.
Stan to
Yes,
kill him.
Ernest. It is by the Rendells.
Martian Hop. I have to check it out.
Yeah, by the Rendells. It's actually two different words. RAN is one word, and then a space, and Dells is another word. So it's not the Rendells altogether. It's the Rendells.
And I got some recent books. This one is about Frank Zappa. That's his daughter, Moon Unit Zappa, Earth to Moon.
Nice.
It's about her, growing up in the Zappa family. They had to, well, they kind of had to call their parents by their first name. So Frank and Gail instead of mom and dad. pretty
I
weird.
know she had a minor hit like in like the early
Valley
80s,
Girl. Yeah.
Valley Girl, right?
Yeah.
That Frank pretty much did, and she just kind of talked on.
Yep. And this one, John, Yoko, and Me. Elliot was a good friend of John and Yoko. That's a good book. And this one, the second one, this is part 2. I'm going to interview the author at some point.
Nice.
Ideas, volume 2. And I'm also going to interview the author of that new Sparks. Yeah, it's like one of those books. Every album, every song. Yeah. You just got that?
I am definitely ordering that Sparks one for sure.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, that is going to be one of my next Amazon orders, along with a couple of Sparks CDs.
Martian Boogie.
I don't know if I ever told you this one, Morris. I was visiting my friend Scott in Ludington, Michigan. And the next town over, we went to watch a wrestling match. And evidently, Maynard went to school there. And he was actually present at a wrestling match, watching high school wrestling going on. And, Scott's like, well, why don't you go over and talk to him? You're such a big fan. I go, a guy's private life is kind of like their private life. And I was like, just let him be,
Yeah.
I'm sure he gets that all the time,
Yeah.
Mandels, yeah. For me, Sparks, but I love XTC too.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard XTC, Morris?
Not much of it. No,
like
there's so much music I still need to catch up on.
Yeah.
There's so many things I get recommended.
Skylarking's very good. Black Sea's very good.
Black Sea, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Like I've been meaning to check out one of Glenn's new favorite bands there, Widespread Panic.
I haven't heard them yet.
I want to check them out because he's been raving about them so much.
Yeah, they're good.
So yeah, there's so much music I need to catch up on. Oh yeah, but that's the fun of it. That's what the new year is all about. It's catching up on a lot of new music and trying to widen my. I love having a very eclectic collection of music. My music goes from everywhere, all types of genres, all different decades.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I love XTC. I think I love their earlier albums more than their later ones, but we're making plans for you. Yeah, making plans for Nigel. Have you ever heard that song, Morris? Making plans for Nigel.
Wasn't that on drums?
That might be a good gateway to XTC. Write that down. Making plans for Nigel.
Or Mayor of Simpleton.
For Nigel?
I think Mayor of Simpleton, if you're not used to their sound at all, then that's
or Dear God. Yeah.
Yeah, Dear God.
Yeah.
Plans for.
Then there's a ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead that came out.
I wrote it down. But yeah, again, thank you for that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Making plans for Morris.
Plans for Morris. That's funny.
So, you haven't ordered any more Ween CDs yet, Morris?
No, not yet. I will be getting more. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take to get them, but when I see one or when I have a chance to order one, because I still want to, like I said, I still want to fill up my Sparks. There's certain King Gizzard albums I still need to order, so I pretty much have a list, but they're still quite up there on the list of stuff I want to get. Again with the can, I still need to get 5 more Beatles albums. So once I get those out of the way, and that I'll focus on whatever is in my peripheral, whatever is on my list that I need to get. So yeah, I want to get all that stuff for sure. So I want to try to get as much as possible next year.
Yeah. There is Molly. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year, Molly.
XTC is addictive. Yeah.
That's what I hear.
I heard Vector cereal is very good, Larry, but I can't find a
Hello,
box.
Molly.
Yeah, I used to like Vector cereal, but I don't think it's gluten free, so I can't eat it anymore. Yeah, Primus. Yeah, Primus
That's true. You
is
don't
very
see
good.
that anymore.
Happy New Year, Molly.
Yeah. The only Primus that I have so far is they can't all be zingers. It's just the greatest hits.
Yeah,
There's Sailing the Seas of Cheese.
yeah.
That was pretty decent.
The bassist did a couple of albums with Sean Lennon that are really good.
And
It's the
it's a
Claypool
it's
Lennon Delirium. They're really
Yeah,
good.
doesn't the Gorge, which is Les Claypool, they did a cover of Gin and Juice by Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Oh, this one. My
like
favorite
a
album
package,
is
like a
Soda.
package of cheese,
Yeah,
like Kraft
Oop,
cheese.
Soda.
that's
There you
cool.
go. I've heard of the Residents. I've listened to only like one album though.
Yeah, I've kind of lost interest in them. I really love Duck Stab, and some of their other albums are good, but I'd just rather listen to like Ween or the Beach Boys or whatever. Primus sucks. It sucks for you.
That's what.
Yes, it does.
No. It's actually what the fans. It's something to do with the band. They call themselves. They say that Primus
Oh, okay.
sucks.
Well, the
It's
Primus
actually
sucks.
an inside joke
It's
with the
true.
Primus fans. It doesn't mean that they actually suck. It's just something they say.
I get it.
All right.
Primus covering and making plans for Nigel. Wow. LOL. Let's not get out the ruler. Only Primus I have is the South Park theme. Yeah, Duck Stab
That's
is my
cool.
favorite. Yeah, that's a good album. Big fan of Primus.
Yeah. Shake hands with beef. I like across the electric grapevine. Yeah, that was a good one.
Just
What's it
waiting
called
for some more
again?
comments. Here's
Over
one.
the electric grapevine. Yeah.
Primus was heavily influenced by the Residents. Now, Stephen Schnee, you were invited onto this live chat, but he said he was working.
Right.
He's really working, isn't he? I think he's just a bit of a snob.
The Primus had the one song I remember was Winona's Got a Big Brown Beaver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
a pretty big hit.
That's my introduction. That was my introduction.
Yeah.
I love the shake hands with beef. My name is Mud.
I am working. I just can't be seen on the net during work hours. Oh, I'm going to tell.
Aha.
He's being sneaky. All right. Is there a musician that is a turnoff for you because of their constant political rambling? I have a few. Yeah, of course. Van Morrison.
Yeah. Eric Clapton lately.
Yeah.
John Mellencamp is really bad lately.
Yeah.
I heard.
Plus, he's just rude, right? Like with his
Ted
audience.
Nugent. Oh yes, Ted Nugent.
Ted Nugent. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be true.
Kid Rock.
Kid Rock does not rock. Yeah, Nugent. Very excited to see you obsess over the mollusk. Yeah, I'm getting 3 more Ween CDs sent by my good friend Pow. I don't know what they are, but maybe one of them will be the mollusk. So is it still pretty crazy? Like,
yeah, it's an album that kind of is all over the place.
Yeah,
type of thing.
But
a couple things, a couple songs could be mainstream hits. They kind of blend those in there, but still, just when you think you got a beat on them, they flip it. They flip it on you again.
But the thing is as crazy as they can get, they are. I keep saying this. They are so talented. I get like Gene Ween. He's the guitarist, right? Or the,
Yeah.
He is such a great guitarist, unbelievable. And then the singer, he can like some of those
Oh,
crazy voices he does. You think they're used with effects or whatever, and he can actually do them. How is the story about your PC Schnee?
PC.
Oh, Roger Waters. Yeah, I'm not a fan of him. Yeah, but I don't know. If I'm really turned off by a person, I don't know if I can really listen to their music. There's no denying classic albums, but some artists just lost me due to the fat. Yeah. Well, I'm going to take this off.
You're not a dunce anymore?
No.
Damn.
Look what it did to my hair. It's a new hairstyle. I'm kind of liking it.
Take a photo of it. That way, when you go see your barber, say, I want to look like this.
I want to, just like this. Yeah. All right. 47 people watching.
Wow.
I wish all 47 would leave a comment below. Yeah, I'd like to get that one too. It's Ween's 12 Country Greats. So I guess they went to Nashville. They got these Nashville musicians. They just wrote the songs, and they had these and the songs are as crazy as usual, right?
Right.
Like PISS up a rope. but they're done really well as country songs, right? They're not. Yeah, I definitely want to get that one. I'm glad I made it in time to witness the hat.
You just barely did.
Yeah. Messing up my hair. Love your bad album covers videos, Larry. Thank you, Ralph. Yeah.
In another chat the other day, people were arguing, and let me get your guys' opinion. Who do you think is the best American band of all time?
The Beach Boys.
Well, for me, I would have to pick. I'm very biased against Tool, and they are a true American band to me. But I mean, if I have to say who is the most influential, then you have to go with the Beatles, of course. But for me personally, Tool is my favorite band. I think so. I think they're the best band in America. They're my favorite American band.
Are you a fan of, Brian? Are you a fan of the Beach Boys at all?
Oh yeah. I mean, I like their stuff. I like Smiley Smile and the beat. What was the one? The Beach, is it the Beach Boys 2 or something like that? The Brown album that was just before Pet Sounds. Beach Boys Today.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good album. They got some good stuff. I mean, I don't like the surfer type of music because it just got too much of that when I was growing up, I suppose. But I appreciate how good Brian Wilson is as a songwriter and writing melodies and things like that. I think it's great. I had REM as the best pure American band, if you ruled out everything else. And then
I was really impressed with Friends. I was really impressed with Friends the first time I heard that.
Yeah, that's a great
really
album.
enjoyed that a lot.
Sunflower, Surf's Up is awesome. So it looks like Beer and Vinyl wants to join us. Chapers.
Hello, Alex.
Greatest American Hero.
I love that Greatest American Hero symbol in the back of Morris there.
I had to draw that, and that's actual size too. That it would be on his suit. It's actual size. So yeah, I ended up having to draw it because where else am I going to get that? So I had to draw it for myself, and it is perfect. It is exact.
That was a good show. Well, I think it was only on like 2 years, maybe, right? Maybe 2 years.
I have the entire collection on DVD. I have the whole thing. Absolutely.
There was the 70s superheroes movies, sitcoms and shows were hilarious. Like whenever you think about Shazam, I mean, you got this young kid traveling around with an old man in a Winnebago, and every once in a while he just turns into Shazam and he can fly. I'm like, why do you need the Winnebago for if you can fly? I don't understand it, but oh, look at that. Randy's got my back here.
Randall, CCR or REM? That's easy. CCR.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd go REM, but bigger catalog.
And have you guys noticed that? That's my drawing of Deadpool posing as Michael Jackson for the Thriller album.
Nice.
CCR, Chicago, believe it or not, Zappa, yeah.
Zappa?
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of the Eagles.
Are you talking about Ripley's, believe it or not? I used to love watching that.
Ooh, Captain Beefheart.
All I have so far is Safe as Milk, but I want to get more. I need more Beefheart.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex from Beer and Vinyl has entered
Hello,
the final
Alex.
chat.
Greetings,
Alex,
gentlemen. Happy almost New Year.
Alex, it's time for you to leave.
I was about to go anyway. It's perfect.
So tell us how your year's been and what music you've been into this year. And
yeah, well, it's funny actually. This will probably completely delay the upload, but it says in 45 seconds my my top 25 of the year will be posted on my channel. So
nice. Gotta check it out.
So there's that. This was my first full year on YouTube. So I started in I guess October of 2023. So yeah, it's been like a full year now. And the YouTube side of things has been great, and been a tough year otherwise. But it's the gift that keeps on giving, right?
This is around the time you'd say something really nice about me.
Well, first of all, I can't speak, not only for myself, I think for everybody here and across the world, none of us would be here if it wasn't for people like Larry. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice of you to say.
Yes, of course.
Hey, somebody's excited to see Alex.
Hey, Ernest.
Nice.
Yes, Steely Dan.
But I will say, Larry, I think you'll be very pleased with what my number one is of the year.
John Anderson, True. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, isn't that one of the greatest album? Show the album cover again, because you could just stare at that album cover for hours.
and everything about it's bad. The picture is bad. The colors are bad. The font is everything.
That's a terrible choice of font. And they use 3 different fonts.
Yes,
on the cover.
Yes, and this is terrible too.
Yeah,
everything about
it's true.
I don't know that there's ever been a more maybe besides like Black Sabbath Paranoid or something, ever a bigger gap between quality of music and low quality of album art.
Yeah. Now, I guess his daughter, the one thing about it is his daughter took the photograph, but that could have been inside, like the gatefold, maybe.
Yeah, and I think the inside is no, the inside's not really anything. No. Just
the band photos on the back, I think, right?
Yeah, you got
nice
band photo on the back here.
Is it colored vinyl or just standard vinyl?
I got the orange, so
nice. Yeah.
Yep.
Chuck T. Trout Mask is next logical step, Morris. It will make you an instant Beefheart fan.
I want. Oh yes, I need to get Trout Mask. That was my real introduction to Beefheart. So that is definitely on top of my list of something I need to get. Oh yes.
Yep, Talking Heads. I love Talking Heads. I'm going to leave this comment up for a few minutes if everybody doesn't mind.
Kind of let that based in a
I
little
can't
Yeah,
bit.
just
disagree.
so everybody gets a chance to read it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Pretzel, yeah.
Hey,
I'm not
so
really.
Alex, there, I really loved when you talked about on your channel when you talked about Rush, when you were showing some of those Rush albums and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Did you ever get to playing those other albums that you haven't played as often from Rush?
So, well, first, thank you. I appreciate that. And that was truthfully, and you all know this, that was one of those, your YouTube video sort of catches fire a little bit just based on the title of it. And the people love unboxing videos, right? It's like one of those things. It's like, do an unboxing. And so it was the Rush albums from, what was it? Presto through Test for Echo, the box set that came out through Rhino. And so I'd never heard those albums before.
Yes.
And it was just sort of my very brief review and unboxing of them. But I still have not heard Snakes and Arrows, and I still have not heard Vapor Trails. So, yeah.
Oh, really? I think I like Vapor Trails a lot more than Snakes and Arrows. I think Snakes and Arrows for me is just because it gets just a little too preachy, maybe.
Okay.
But there's the instrumentals. They got like on Snakes and Arrows. There's 3 instrumentals, and Malignant Narcissism is one of the best. It's like it's just 2 minutes and 16 seconds long, but it crams so much in that little short time. Like it shows their whole range in that 2 minutes and 16 second song. Like it blows my mind how it's like what that is just a masterpiece.
That's awesome. I love that. Well, and I wonder for my question for you all, because we all sort of do this in some way, right? Like you, Larry, I know you do it all. It's like you discover the artist, right? And you're like, where has this artist been my whole life? And then you go back catalog it, right? I got to buy everything. And then you listen to so many albums within such a short amount of time, opposed to when they came out, it was like, oh, we had a year to sit with this or 2 years to sit with this. And so my struggle is going back and doing that with those records, and then finding yourself like, this feels really samey because you're just listening to them all back to back. And it's hard to, I think, fully digest records that way.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I kind of agree with
if you're going to listen, you should at least listen to them in chronological order that they were meant to be listened to in, so you could see the growth of the band.
Right.
Whether or not they how far they've come.
Yep.
I've only got 3 Rush albums. 2112. I've got Hemispheres, and then I've got Moving Pictures. I think everybody has Moving Pictures. I think that would be like most people would say that's the one they own, right?
I got everything and then some. I have at least a dozen of the DVD box sets and stuff. Everything from Rush in Rio to the 40th anniversary, the 30th anniversary. I got all that stuff.
Morris, you'll appreciate
I got the documentary behind Gilded Cage.
You'll appreciate this, Morris. So there's been a ton of here in the States, at least. I know Canada's very different, but here in the States, there's been a ton of online like vinyl sales that have been going on. I mean, You Discover was doing 50% off. I mean, half off stuff. So many. And then it's funny, we talked to our Canadian friends and they're like, you get half off, we get 10% off. And it's like, okay, sorry. But I got the Permanent Waves Deluxe Edition box set. I think it's 3 or 4 LPs. I think 2 or 3 CDs. It is like the full kit caboodle situation. I got it for $35.
Wow.
Because it was already marked on like clearance, and then they get the half off of that. And so I just you can never have it all. $35. That's right.
Wow.
$35.
What happened, Larry? You got tired of the accolades? I mean,
that's
what's going on here?
That's awesome.
Oh, this is there. Appreciated your end of the year video today, Larry. Thank you very much. At least somebody appreciated me.
I liked it.
Alex, have you ever heard the band Can?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like them or?
I do. The only Can album I own one of the you know how they've like released a series of those like live albums over the last couple of years. I think I have Live in Brighton, maybe.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that is a an accurate depiction of who they are, right? Like, so yeah, I mean, I would love to get like Tego Mago and all of those.
How about this band?
Diego Balmasio.
What I'm like trying to read it, Larry. Okay, so like I've heard them. Obviously, it's kind of their group. It's like hard to. I need like the one. Larry, pick one, and Morris or whoever. Like
the one Morris is holding on the left, right there. Paper mache dream balloon. That's a good starting point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and then after this one, you have to go Nonagon Infinity,
They're totally
and then
different.
the one that Larry is holding, because the one Larry's was holding up there, that one there, that's a flying microtonal banana. So in that they're using
so easy to remember.
Yes.
So instead of using the 12 frets, they use 24. They use the frets between the frets. So it gives it a more of a Middle Eastern flavor, and it's well done. Because they only use it very sparingly. They don't actually like litter it in there. They keep mostly to the normal notes, but they just throw in these little half quarters and full. And it's like, yeah, it's pretty awesome. I love it. That was my introduction to King Gizzard. But this is my second. It's my second favorite album of all time, right behind Lateralis.
Wow!
I love this thing. I'm obsessed with this too.
Is Rush prog or rock? I would say they're prog.
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 Oh yeah, prog.
Yeah, I'd say prog. Most of their stuff's conceptual. I would think that would be.
No.
I mean, especially the earlier stuff from from 2112 up to Hemispheres and that. Yeah.
If Canada becomes the 51st state, I'm not going to be the American Studmuffin. I'm sorry. Thank you, Greg.
Plus, if you did that, I have no place to run to. I mean, I need to be able to like sneak across the border here at some point, guys.
Actually, I want to give it while the comments. I want to give a shout out to Stephen Schnee because, he deserves a lot of shout outs. But he was the one on his channel that several weeks ago pointed out that there was going to be a release of a Badfinger album that I had been waiting for forever called Head First. And Stephen did a lot of work on that and a lot of content on that. And he got to interview Bob Jackson, who was one of the members of the band, and then who obviously was responsible for kind of bringing the project into it. And so I posted a video yesterday or the day before kind of talking about that release myself and just its impact on me. But I owe a lot of that to Stephen and the work that he does on his channel. So thank you, Stephen.
Stephen Schnee is an awesome guy, but I want to say that off camera. Rush are absolutely prog, but I can't stand them. Yeah.
Harsh.
Whatever you do, Alex, do not visit Trenton, Ontario. Because I'm not signing on.
Go to Montreal. Go to Montreal. There's such an international culture there of all mixed mash of everything. I lived there for 10.5 years, and I love that city. That was like 12 years ago, or a little bit more than 12 years ago. I lived there. I don't know how much different it is now, but the time that I was there, it was an adventure. I loved it. I love that city.
It's actually a shorter distance for me to drive to Quebec City than it is for me to drive to Bangor, Maine. I'm that far north in Maine. So just cross the border, jump on the Trans Scan, and I'm off.
Yep.
Okay. A question for the panel here while we're on Canadian content. I love Canadian content. Interpret as you will, but most underrated, under talked about, underrepresented, whatever you want to say, Canadian artist. Like we hear Rush not too much. I love Rush, but you hear about Rush, you hear about Neil Young and Joni. Like, who do you think is like the Canadian artist that you're like, this is like an ambassador, or like,
I've got two. The Stampeders, because they were one of the first really popular early 70s bands that kind of made it in the States, with Sweet City Woman. And they were good, Wild
right.
Eyes and all that. They were pretty big here in Canada. And the other Canadian band is the Northern Pikes.
Northern Pikes.
Yeah. And Sloan.
Sloan was big.
Yeah.
Tragically Hip is vastly underrated in the States.
Yeah, they're great.
They're incredible.
That's a great documentary too.
Yeah. Yeah. When I see that when I see that live footage of them, the last concert, and the very last song, it's like you can't help, getting teary-eyed watching that. Like he's giving his the guy's got brain cancer, right? And he's probably in pain, and he's just singing his heart out.
Yep.
Like,
what do you think, Morris?
Yeah, I love them. So I want to address something that Pau had commented on about the title for the Flying Microtonal Banana, the King Gizzard.
Yep.
That is actually the name of his guitar that he made microtonal. It's a yellow guitar, and he named the guitar Flying Microtonal Banana. And so thus that was the first album they did with the microtonal. So that's why they named that album after the guitar. Just want to clarify that a little bit.
That's awesome.
Well, the best thing about King Gizzard is that they have so many different genres. If you're not into the heavy metal ones, then don't get the heavy metal ones. If you're into the lighter stuff or the more prog stuff, they will fill your bill, but their genres are so vast that if you don't want to get a couple of the albums, I don't think it's going to matter. Like, it's just guys like us, so we like to get the whole collection whenever possible.
That's all I do is Canadian content. I can't help it.
Yeah.
There's Stephen Schnee. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I guess how could you forget Klaatu?
Yeah, Klaatu, the great Klaatu. Gino Vanelli, yeah. What label did Badfinger use in Canada? Well, they were on the Apple label at the beginning.
Yep, and then they went to Warner Brothers.
Yeah. I did luck out. I got recently at a used CD store, I got No Dice for like $4.
Oh.
Yeah.
Great.
So was Apple part of Capitol Records back then? Is that what Apple fell under?
I don't know. Yeah, it's, I don't want to get into this. States joining Canada.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I'm going to be a Canadian for life. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently you got to look after. It's not even Canada anymore. We're going to take Greenland apparently too. So,
well, at some point. Yeah. How's that one member of Badfinger doing? I forget his name at the moment.
Oh, Joey Mullen. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know about it until someone pointed it out in a comment, because he was on one of the, I don't know the name of it, but it was one of those sort of like super group Beatle tribute sort of acts. Had a whole bunch of people from a whole bunch of great bands, and then it was Joey Mullen from Badfinger, and then he had to step away, and apparently was like in intensive care or something for a while, like some kind of illness, and so I am not up or entirely sure, but yeah, it's pretty bad.
Blue Rodeo.
Blue Rodeo. April Wine's Canadian band, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, there's another.
The Great Anvil. Yeah. That was a fun documentary.
I used to listen to a lot of Anvil back in the day.
Interesting.
Calm Trues. That would be a good band
That's
name.
funny. That's
Calm
hilarious.
Yeah. Anvil. In Your Face, real. Klaatu, and yeah, those are two very good Canadian bands. Let's not forget the Guess who are still not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
No, neither are Iron Maiden.
But all
Doesn't
of
make
these
any
rap
sense.
bands are. But LL Cool J is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I have problems when they skip over the bands that like and then put in other bands who clearly were
Yeah.
influenced by that band. It doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
that Judas Priest is in
Yeah,
and
they're-
Iron Maiden is not. There's just no way.
It's just like their first year where they can be nominated. They're in.
Yeah, I just,
You know.
insanity.
Well, we'll grow and prosper as Canadians. Thank you. Nick Gilder. Yeah, I like Nick Drake.
Yep, I think I got all three of his albums. Yeah, I do.
I don't know that.
Sweeney Todd was a good musical.
Mahogany Rush. Yeah.
Yeah, big Frank Marino fan. Yeah, there's actually a fair amount of Norwegian representation, all things considered, on my list. But yeah, that's that Tusmork record is pretty amazing. I'm telling you, well, for the prog heads, Norway is cranking out like an absurd amount of amazing progressive rock in 2020. Like limitless amounts, like too much to keep up with just on progressive rock coming out of Norway. It's
Scandinavia by and large puts out a lot of progressive rock music.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I didn't realize how big Nightwish was internationally.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Until like you started watching their concerts and they're like, oh, 73,000 people here. You're like, what in the world are you talking about? 73,000 people. It's crazy.
Gosh,
Yeah, the Beatles have made it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Hart, I don't think they're totally Canadian, no.
I also don't like not to go on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame trope.
Oh, let's do it.
But one of the things that gets me, I mean, obviously it's like how are we leaving out certain people and putting in others that are not even rock and roll, or all that kind of stuff. I think the other thing that gets me too is the amount of people who are inducted in multiple times before somebody who's not in gets in. Like, yeah, like, Eric Clapton, sure, like let's throw him in there for everything. But it's like you want to put someone like Eric Clapton in there 4 or 5 different times before you put in the Guess Who or Iron Maiden or whoever. You know what I mean, for whatever reason. So
I don't know the selection process, and I don't know the people who sit on those committees. I don't know.
Who would you rather have as your rhythm section, Bruford and Squire or Moon and Entwistle? I think
guess Keith
Bruford and
Moon,
Squire.
yeah, I would think so.
Bruford.
My technical answer on this one would be if purely their job was to be a rhythm section and nothing else, then Moon and Entwistle. But if their job was writing and composing and doing their own stuff creatively, then I would want Bruford and Squire.
Did you watch, Larry, the Yacht Rock documentary on Max?
No.
It Yeah, they asked at the end of it. They called up, finally got a hold of Donald Fagen and asked him what he thought of being put into the genre of yacht rock. And he questioned. He goes, "What did you say it was called again?" They're like yacht rock. He goes, "Yeah, I think I can say without without any type of hesitation whatsoever." And they had to bleep a lot of it that you guys could go after yourselves. I was like, "That's great." That's exactly what you would think Donald Fagen would say, you know.
Speaking of that was on Rick Beatle, right? That's the Rick Beatle.
Yeah, Rick
channel. I highly recommend, if you haven't seen it, the interview he did with Rick Wakeman, because he asked Rick a question, and then Rick just goes on for like 20 minutes, but it's really interesting, and it's about his whole career, with David Bowie and Yes and all that. And the other one is the Phil Collins documentary on his drumming, and his son is an excellent drummer too, and his son kind of interviews him, and that's superb too.
Yeah, Rick Beato's been having some really good guys on there. He had Rick Rubin on as an interview, and it was fantastic.
Girl in Red is the hottest Norwegian pop star for the moment. Write that down, Alex.
I believe it.
Beer.
Girl in Red.
I don't think he has anything to do with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame anymore, though. Angry Samoans.
Angry Samoans.
Yeah. Since we're talking Canada, I must say, whenever my family visited, I never saw the side streets with regular homes, only storefronts.
Brian, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Are you finding yourself liking the Smile more, just as much, or almost as much as Radiohead?
Not as much.
Okay.
Not as much. And I think it's because I really lean more toward the rockier version of Radiohead. I don't mind the electronic stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But I lean more toward the bends and some of the stuff on OK Computer than I do Kid A and that stuff. And the Smile's more electronica type stuff,
Yep.
But I don't mind it. I mean, it's fine.
But would you take one of the things I'm hearing, right, is because I got both, Wall of Eyes and Cutouts were on my list. This idea that what the Smile is doing now, in the way that they're doing it, is better than what Radiohead has been doing in the past, 10, 15 years of a similar vein. Is what some people are saying. I'm not saying that I believe that, but
yeah. I guess somebody could make that argument, but as far as influence goes, I don't think these, you know what I mean? We need time, maybe another 5 years to know whether they have any type of impact on music like those OK Computer did.
Sure.
At the time, we need time,
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Johnny Greenwood does great soundtracks.
I know.
He's absolutely right.
That's why I love early Radiohead. Like you said, the rock here.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about Radiohead. I wish they did more of that.
And Johnny does a lot of just regular straight up soundtrack scores and everything else. He's great.
Has there ever been a Canadian band called Alpha Flight?
Isn't that a superhero team?
Never heard of that.
In Canada? Isn't that what that is? I think there was a superhero team named Alpha Flight.
So Larry, didn't you get this album here, Fishing for Fishies? Also,
Yeah,
is
I
that
have
one
that.
of the also
So I
ones you
think I
got?
have. Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah. Yep,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
yeah. I was just wondering because I think that's what you got. I think you got just. You said you have 4 of them,
No, I've
right?
got 5. Yeah.
5.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was figuring.
So anybody into the Tom York solo stuff? It doesn't look like.
Don't know him.
I'm not, and admittedly, I don't even know if I like Tom York. Like that, that sounds terrible. Like this, he's one of these artists that like I like Radiohead a lot. I like these records by The Smile a lot. There are times where I'm like, oh, he's one of the most brilliant minds in in that sort of way. And then there are other times where I'm like, I can't stand his voice. Like so it's like a very interesting relationship that I have with Tom York as an artist, where it's like I appreciate it and like certain aspects, but then there are some days like I got to be in the mood for it. I guess that's kind of
So is it similar to my talking voice? Then you're saying?
On a lesser scale, yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, he did the soundtrack to Suspiria, and
Yeah.
he had another one called Eraser that was a solo project of his. I've listened to them once. I can't go back because he's just like you said. I think the voice on multiple listens is just hard to take him if you don't have any type of rhythm section that's legitimately backing him up.
Mm.
Steve Perry.
Steve Perry.
Everybody. Yeah, I've never been a Journey fan. I'm sorry.
Larry, you would probably really like the first 3 Journey records, though.
Yeah, I actually had the one next back
Yeah.
when it came out, and it was like jazz rock.
Yeah, it's like rocking, jazzy, like.
And then
jamming,
Steve Perry shows up and ruins it all.
ruins it all. The one, the I forget the record. Somebody will probably say it, but the records where him and Greg were kind of trading on and off vocals. Like I thought that was like such a cool mix to sort of have these bands with 2 lead vocalists essentially, and then obviously they needed to get paid, and the rest is history.
So has anybody seen the new Bob Dylan biopic?
I haven't seen it yet. I need to see it.
I've heard good things about it. Sam St. John did a video on it, and Norman Maslov. Yeah.
My favorite was
into biopics, though.
My favorite. Sam posted a video about it, and Sam and I are tight, so it's okay. I make fun of him. I would tell him to his face. He posted a video about it, and then in parentheses said spoilers. And it's like it's a biopic. Like what are you gonna spoil for us? Like turns out he didn't die. Oh, okay, great. Geez. Good thing I knew not to watch Sam's video.
That's not the weirdest thing I heard. I heard from my sister-in-law that she didn't like the movie Titanic because of the ending. I'm like, what are you talking about? I think it's a matter of history.
Same thing, Brian. My little sister, for the longest time, she says, I hate Titanic. I go, why? She goes, it's too confusing. It's hard to keep up with. What do you mean?
That's great. Oh, well, guys, I got to take out of here.
Okay. Thank you for dropping by, Brian.
Hey, take off, Hoser.
Oh,
yeah. You guys have a great
Have a happy New Year.
I'm going to check out your top 25 albums too later on this evening. So
I appreciate you, man. Good being on chat with you.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Brian.
Now, I got to ask you two, what do you do for New Year's? Do you, well, obviously we know Larry is celebrating.
This is it.
Do you do anything for New Year's Eve? Are you in bed sleeping by the ball drop? What are you working? What are you doing?
Me?
Oh no, I'll be up in the new year. There might be some fireworks down by the river at midnight. So if I'm feeling up for it, I might just go and take a walk down there and check out some fireworks. Maybe.
Wow.
It's not going to be out that cold anyways. It's been kind of nice today. It was pretty warm.
Judas. Yeah, that's funny.
Great movie. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Mhm.
Later, Brian, he's gone. He can't read that. Yeah. Alex, have you ever listened to Ween?
I was when I popped in the chat was when you all were talking about it. I have not. My extent of hearing about Ween is through you, obviously, Larry.
Yeah.
I've never ever listened to it, but I say I'm a huge like Zappa fan. So when people are like drawing Zappa comparisons, my ears perk up a little bit. But yeah,
I would highly suggest to start with Quebec.
okay,
Yeah, because they do all kinds of different music on that album.
yep,
And it's and the
Mhm.
earlier ones like the Pod are so weird, and they're recorded, the recordings aren't the greatest sound quality, but
sure.
once you listen to it a few times, you just get like Morris, right? You get hooked into it. it's
You
they're
do,
so
you do.
they're so
It's
talented.
yeah, it's so mesmerizing in its own way. But it's not. But it is a challenging. It is a challenging listen, but it's
It's
worth
worth
it. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear this cash grab all the time, and it, like when certain box sets come out and all that, that's what the record business is about, is making money, right, Alex? And nobody's forced to buy anything. So
Yeah.
it's saying a cash grab is silly. Don't get me started.
Yeah, well, I can see it. Your veins already popping out there. Yeah, I think it's a complicated thing because I think ultimately, well, yeah, it's a cash grab. It's a way to make money and all that kind of stuff. I think where the frustration gets for a lot of people, well, what happens is you get people like Larry. Here's what happens. You get people like Larry who have to have every Beatles, everything ever.
Just a second, Alex. I see this kick from studio.
Oh,
Okay, never mind. Go on.
well, because this came up a lot with the Beatles Red and Blue albums again, right? Where everybody's like, "Here we go, it's a cash brag." The cash grab. They change one thing, all this kind of stuff. The joke I make. Actually, hold on, I'll show you something because I got this as a gift for a friend of mine.
Yeah, Ween the Mollusk. I'm hearing a lot of people say that's the best Ween album.
Okay, so this was for Record Store Day down here, which is a huge thing, and I go every time. And recently, they've been doing these Beatles tchotchke things that, of course, Beatles fans they got to buy them. And so this is a case with a 3-inch record of All My Loving.
Oh yeah,
and it fits other 3-inch records that they had released last year.
Yeah.
And so it's like this little case that you can kind of see on the side there.
Yep.
With this 3-inch record. $47. $47.
Yep.
And
and were you forced to buy it?
Of course not. I was not. And I always make the joke because I was, cashing out or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, like $47. The same way when they did their recent single, right? Like you could buy the single, the 7-inch of it, for like $20 or something. And I always just make the joke that I'm just really glad that I can do my part in supporting like small local independent artists.
You can support Paul McCartney.
I mean, he needs it, right? Like I just I think it's important that we support the smaller artists in that way. And so yeah, it's funny, but yeah, the cash grab thing. Well, I think we see it less in like what artists do and more strictly what like labels do. I was talking to somebody earlier about how at least in audiophile quote unquote world with like a lot of these records is, you can buy like these 1-step records, right? They come in a box and they're like $125 for one record because it's the best sounding thing and it's made out of like, the saliva of Jesus himself and all these different things. And so the label will come out and they'll say, here is this box, this 1-step, this UHQR ultra high quality record made from Jesus himself. It is $125. This is the best thing you can buy, period. So the people who got the money and have the sound system to justify it and all that kind of stuff will throw their money at it. And then 6 months later, they'll come out with the same thing and they'll say, instead of a 33 RPM, this is now 2 discs at 45 RPM. And this is the best sounding thing that you can get. And people throw their hands up and they're like, rah, rah, you know, and they like forgot about it. But from a licensing standpoint, those are different licensing agreements that they have with the artists.
Mm-hmm.
So they're able to go and say like, oh, we'll license this for however many copies, and then we can license this for however many more copies. But all that to say, you're right, cash grab, but there's the option. And I think a lot of times too, like I think about Beatles box sets that always come out, whether it's, you know, obviously the solo stuff, there are so many options. It's like if you don't want the George Harrison $1,200 chest, then don't get it. Then get the regular one for a good price, you know?
So Stephen Schnee says the mollusk. That's the one, Alex, that I hear is the most well. I haven't heard it yet, but Ween the mollusk is supposedly their best album.
How many records? Like, what's the discography of Ween?
It's not that big actually for studio albums. Maybe 7 albums.
Oh, okay,
7 or 8.
It's less than I thought. Yeah.
2024.
So for me, I think my cash grab story would be when Fear Inoculum came out. Okay, they had this version, you know, that was like it was $74.74. You know, taxes included. I had to buy it. It has the oh, it's dead right now. I have to charge it up, but normally that would come on, and
but it comes with a charger.
It does come with the charger. The charger's on the side right here.
That's cool. Yeah.
But because I'm such a Tool fan, right?
You're such a Tool more.
Another version that was just a little cheaper was $54. Yeah. So I had to get the second version of it, you know? So it's the same album, but just
that's what I don't like. That's what I don't like. Or a new CD comes out, and then a few months later, the CD comes out again with bonus songs on it.
Yep.
It's like, I'm just sticking with the original, right? Like,
And as Morris knows too, Tool is notorious. I don't know how it is in CD world, but people have been asking for official reissues and releases of Tool on vinyl for years and years and years and years and years. And so when Fear Inoculum, they finally announced, they say, we are finally announcing Fear Inoculum on vinyl. It's going to come in a 5 LP. They did a 5 LP box set, but each of the LPs was single sided.
Oh.
And it was like $160. And they were like, this is the only way you're going to be able to get. Everybody's been asking for Fear Inoculum on vinyl. Here's your chance. So they released this box set. And then 3 months later, they're like, oh, here's the regular vinyl version. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? So the same exact thing.
Yeah. As much as I love them, they do have a certain marketing genius. Yeah. I mean, and I paid the same price for this as I did for the LP of Lateralis, which is a picture disc. It's 2 discs, but each side has part of the Alex Gray artwork on it, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, I paid $74.74 for that.
Mm-hmm. So about artists selling their catalog rights, it's like it's up to them, right? It's their music. Sell it if you want.
And you know, you just hear enough of these stories of, you know, obviously I was just talking about Badfinger. It's like you hear enough of these stories of these artists getting completely screwed over by their labels or by their management or whoever. And so I mean, I'm all for it. Like, especially, you know, I think about, you know, I think Queen did it recently, and obviously David Gilmour and Roger Waters did it recently with Pink Floyd. It's like these guys are like 80. Like, give them the money. Like, what are they going to wait around for?
Yeah.
You know.
Jeff Beck, I never really bought any of his albums, but I would say he was one of the greatest guitarists ever,
Great,
from what I've
yeah.
seen.
I love everything he's done.
I think it's almost time to take a shot.
Wow,
If everybody likes this live chat, thumbs up, I will take a shot. That's how you get the thumbs up, Alex.
Yeah. Is that what you're doing, Larry? Every hour on the hour until
every
midnight?
hour on the hour. No, just one. We're celebrating. What are we celebrating? Oh yeah, New Year's Eve. Okay. Most of the ones selling are getting up there in age. Yeah. And they're, they're thinking of their families too, I guess, right? And
oh yeah.
oh, look at the thumbs up. No, I mean on the video itself. Yeah. Yeah, I would say he would be one of the best. Ooh. Do the shot. Thumbs up. Larry, let me read this slowly. Larry is the greatest Studmuffin. I wonder how much his catalog is. Yeah. At some point I might have to sell my YouTube channel for $10 million or something. All right. Is everybody ready to take a shot? Alex, where's your beer?
Oh, if I start drinking now, I'm not going to be able to see the ball drop. So I got a party to go to later.
Okay, here we go. Cheers, everybody. Just one.
Oh, you should light that match and burp on it, and then that's right.
Woo, that's a spicy and hot. Look, it burned a hole in the bottle.
My brother was just saying today, because he was over earlier, he was saying anybody who likes the taste of alcohol, they're lying. They're just trying to be macho.
I like the taste of alcohol. I paid $10 million for your catalog. Thank you, Ethan. I'll consider that for the near future.
Are there any upcoming or rumored or anticipated 2025 releases that either of you are really looking forward to?
Alex, Sparks.
Are they doing another?
Yeah,
they do again.
They're always working.
That's true.
They've been working for over 50 years.
Yeah, Sparks.
Always working.
Tool. Tool's about due for a new album.
Yeah, Tool's always due for a new album.
That's the one thing, right? There's certain bands, Tool, well, even Guns N' Roses, right? They're living off basically their first album, right? But I don't know. There's certain bands, they release an album every 5 years, 6 years, maybe 10 years. Then there's artists. I did a video recently about artists that release a lot of music. There's Buckethead, the guitarist. He has like 500 albums.
Yeah.
Excessive. Too much. Never will I get that.
We did it, guys. Larry made the shot. Yep. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Well, and Sparks, I know they got a lot to pressures on them after their most recent, which I know both of you and a lot of other people loved. So
yeah. Have you ever seen the documentary, The Sparks Brothers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What did you think of that?
Oh, it's great, right? Like
Yeah.
I just stuff like that is so cool. And I think there's so many artists that I will always refer to it as, I was actually literally just referenced this in that Badfinger video. I was like, we need a documentary, like give Badfinger the Sparks treatment. Like, that has become like the standard for like documentaries on artists, of like, give them the Sparks treatment. Like, this is an artist or a band that deserves people to know about them. And if it takes a documentary like that to get people aware, then so be it. But yeah.
But I even enjoy documentaries of, artists that I'm not a fan of.
Oh yeah.
Because it's their, it's interesting to see anybody's life story when
Yep.
it comes to music. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, especially, I mean, some of these like fascinating stuff. Like I'm not a punk guy per se, it's like, yeah, like I like the Ramones, but even that, it's like Ramones are very accessible and pop centric, you know what I mean? Same thing, like the Clash really aren't a pop band. The Clash are almost more of a reggae band at times than,
Yeah.
And so, but when you look at like gutter punk and like some of the more aggressive like bar punk that was going on in LA or New York or down the street in Akron, that kind of stuff. And so some of my favorite documentaries are the Penelope Spheres, The Decline of Western Civilization documentaries.
Yeah.
Because I think it's part 2, which is like the hair metal one, or it's like based on the glam era. And then I think part 1 is based on like the LA punk scene, and it's like I'm watching some of this stuff and I was like, I couldn't even hear the music. Like I'm like, it's one ear out the other, but I'm infatuated with the lives that these people are living.
Yep. Does this video suck, Larry?
Did you do it? Does this album suck for Chinese democracy?
Yeah.
Oh, do you? Okay, I figured that would be one.
Yeah, it sucked.
It sucked.
It was just too long.
A little too long.
It was mediocre. Like, yeah.
Well, plus,
there's a couple of songs on it, but it's just
there's a
too
couple
much
of songs
of
on it. That's right. I don't know. Like a band like Guns N' Roses, I was never a fan of to begin with. But
yeah,
like I said, they're still doing live shows and all that. But almost all of it is based on their first album.
Yeah, they 1000% captured lightning in a bottle and have been literally making money on that since. Yeah, like there's some good stuff on the Use Your Illusion records for sure, but both of them individually are too long. And then to do 2 of them, I was like, that's 4 records. Like, put this down to 1 record, it would have probably been really great. But yeah, it's funny that a band though that is so huge. I mean, they're still selling out arenas so that people can hear Paradise City again. I've never been. I always just say this too, of like bands that I don't talk a lot about like anything like negative or anything on my channel. I don't like doing like the does this stuff suck or that kind of
10
stuff.
bands that I hate.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I know like the reason that people they're popular, right? Like, so people who use YouTube as a sense of like money generation, like I actually fully get that and I support it, right? It's like when Scott Lade,
my number 1 video,
is talking about his clickbait week. He's like I know that is making Scott money, which is great. But I've just never appreciated artists that were always more about the tabloids than the art. That was just that, and I always felt that way with Guns N' Roses. Oh, like especially Axl. That was always the thing. And it's the same way I feel about like Motley Crue. It's like it was always more tabloid, more that than the actual art itself. But
speaking of I've done this series, Does This Album Suck? Is there any album you can think of by an artist you like, and there's one album that is just not good that I could do for the series, like a popular artist though?
Who?
I've done quite a few though. I remember one that I was excited when it came out. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, American Dream. I liked the title song, but when I bought the album, it was just so bad. But I haven't heard it in years.
Yeah. because I kind of that's where my mind goes, or some of these like legacy acts that release like a latter career.
Yeah, Neil
thing.
Young's made a few bad albums.
What was it like? Long Road Out of Eden from the Eagles.
Yeah.
Or
Uma
something like
Guma
that.
by Pink Floyd. But half of that is good, the live disc.
Yeah, a lot of stuff's good.
Uma Guma.
I like Uma Guma.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's weird. I mean, that's the thing though. It's like, it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Weird stuff. I don't know. I'll have to think on that, Larry, and see what comes to mind. I mean, I think of like, another band, and I love the band because I love the album, but I don't know. See if you could check out maybe like the most recent Boston album. Like talk about a band that, I mean, they were really riding on their first more so, obviously. Their second album was pretty dang big, and then Third Stage was decent enough. But then I think Tom Scholz is still doing like every once in a while. I don't know when the last one was, but like some time ago released a Boston.
I don't know do you know the channel Taste Like Music?
Mm-hmm.
They did a series 2 or 3 years ago, the worst albums of all time, and that was one of them, and it almost won. It was in the top. I think it was the final Boston album because of the product. Like everything was bad about it.
Yeah. I think he was like using like because Brad Delp had passed away so many years ago, but he was still using like Brad's voices in some ways, and it was kind of creepy and weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you excited for Ringo's country album?
I wouldn't say excited, but I might actually buy it. Yeah. Because I think country suits Ringo.
Yes, I could totally see that. Yeah.
And hopefully there's a nice long drum solo on the album.
Well, that's what we're all wanting.
So,
Larry, how about this for a bad album? Now, I kind of like this album, right?
That is a bad album.
Love it.
I like that album a lot. But what do you think of the follow-up, Bat Out of Hell 2? Is this a good album or is it not?
I never bought it.
Huh?
I never bought it, Morris. I'm not a Meatloaf fan.
I bought it.
I don't like
Meatloaf. I do like one song on it, but I haven't played it since
it's got to Do Anything for Love on there. Yeah, that was the comeback.
Is this? I keep asking myself, do I actually like this or do I not? I don't feel like playing that because I know what it is, and it's like, it's just I still like this. Maybe not every song, but there's at least 3 to 4 songs I really like on this. So
I love it. I will defend.
Not so much.
I will, and I'll call you one more on Morris, because I'm a huge Meatloaf fan. Like I will say, like, I could listen to Meatloaf Bat Out of Hell a billion more times in my life. I love it to death. And I think the musical relationship that was Meatloaf and Jim Steinman, and we just lost both of them a couple years ago, was perfect. And that was the whole idea there, was that Meatloaf didn't do anything because he was not a writer. He was a singer. Meatloaf was an incredible singer, and Jim Steinman was an incredible composer and arranger and writer. And so, he comes back in the 90s with I'd Do Anything for Love, But I Won't Do That, which was a mammoth hit. I have no idea what the rest of the album's like, but I'll one up you. I had Bat Out of Hell 3, The Monsters Loose, which came out in like the early mid 2000s. And I loved that album. Granted, I was like 16, but
never heard it yet.
I loved that album to death. So yeah,
Okay. I'll give this another.
No,
I don't know.
Morris, just go listen to Ween. Don't mess with Meatloaf anymore.
No, of course I'll be listening to this again soon. But I'm gonna have to give this another try because I look at it and I see it there and I was like, but I never feel like wanting to play it.
Actually, Larry, could you go back up to There was a comment about Alice Cooper from the inside. Ah, there it is. So this is actually a really good comment because I love From the Inside because I love Meatloaf. Like, because I am a sucker for like the theatrical and all that kind of stuff. And so although I totally agree for the most part with this assessment, I think From the Inside is significantly better than, what is it, Lace and Whiskey or Leather and Whiskey or whatever. Significantly better than not From the Inside. The Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. Like, I think that this album is so much better than all that. But yes, you also have to deal with David Foster. So it's like, it's the Chicago guy, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly, Jeff. That's what I'm saying. Because I remember just playing it once and then like, did I like that? I didn't want to play it again.
Now, Larry tries to stay away from meatloaf because sometimes people will use breadcrumbs in meatloaf.
It's got to be
Larry is gluten-free.
It's got to be gluten-free meatloaf. That's why I don't have any meatloaf albums.
That's
And
the only
speaking
meatloaf
of
he prefers.
he was acting in one of my favorite movies of all time, which is Fight Club. It's my favorite movie, and Meatloaf is in that movie.
I thought you were going to say Rocky Horror Picture Show.
No. It's a Fight Club. That's my favorite movie.
I've never
of all
seen
time.
Fight Club because I don't like violence.
The violence is so there is a little bit of violence in it, yes, but that's totally not the point of the movie at all. That's just basically a plot device for the real story of what the movie is about. Yeah, is like it just because it hit me at the right time. I saw it at the right time, like pretty much the few months once it came out on DVD. Yeah, that's when I saw it, and oh, hello.
It's Wayne from A Pocket Full of Heat.
See, I knew I would run into Wayne on a stream sometime.
Yeah.
I figured I was going to be back at
He's
the Prog
always
Corner,
around.
but this is good too. So.
Hey guys,
Didn't I see you on the Prog Corner?
Yep. Talking about meatloaf there.
Oh, you got to fix your audio. It's clipping.
Okay. 1 second,
Can't hear you.
log back.
Yep.
Good now?
No. Boot him.
Yeah, he's out of here.
He's out of here.
He's never coming back.
And he's a
No, he'll
professional.
be back.
This is the good question. Are there albums people dislike that you like? Yeah, I love a lot of Yoko Ono's studio albums. It's song based. She's not screaming. They're actual songs, and I do like her singing voice. So shoot me. What about you, Alex? Any?
Well, the main one, I don't know if anybody out there watching is a fan of Dream Theater, but you know they're you know. Hold on. Go ahead, Wayne.
Is it better now? Still choppy? Okay, I'll try something different.
But my favorite band is Dream Theater. Progressive metal band, you know, great stuff, and loved them forever. In 2015, they came out with a record called The Astonishing, which was their huge, like 2.5 hour grand concept album about all of the things and huge story. And they had a book with it, and they had characters. They had a million different things. A fully orchestrated, the whole thing. It was, you know, it was conceptual progressive rock to the max, a complete, you know, self-indulgent thing. And it is widely considered by most of the Dream Theater fan base of like the stain on their discography, like their whole thing.
That's funny.
But I absolutely love it. Why? Because, well, for a number of reasons. It's like I always like find it funny because you know, Larry, you're a big fan of progressive rock, you know?
Yep.
It's like it's when people are like, I love prog, I love XYZ, but the reasons I don't like it are the reasons that people love it, if that makes sense. So it's like Dream Theater became known as like the band of over excess, the self-indulgent, the go big or go home.
And Yes never did that.
And Yes, of course, Yes would never do that. But people were like, oh, they've jumped the shark on this one. You know, this is so over the top. It's so theatrical. It's so cheesy. And I'm like, yeah, that's what we like. Like, I was like, that's why I like the band. So the big one for me, again, I don't know if anybody out there watching is a fan of Dream Theater or The Astonishing, but that's the main one that comes from me. Is I love that album, and so many people just absolutely. It's like their Elder, like music from the Elder.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually have a soft spot for the Elder. I don't mind that album at all. I didn't like it when I first heard it, when I was a teenager there, but it grew on me. I do actually like it a lot more than I did. And right down there, you see it was worldwide punk, hip hop, skate, rock and roll. That's actually my best friend's channel. He puts up little songs here and there that he rips.
Okay.
Sometimes I send him some. So yeah, and of course he was talking about the Electric Larry Land,
Yeah.
which Michael Nolan had mentioned.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny. He's like, hey, wait a minute, I have that.
Yeah, what you were saying earlier, Alex, about punk, like Ramones.
Yeah, you're welcome,
even the
Mo.
Sex Pistols.
So
they really weren't punk. They were just rock,
yeah.
right? Rock music. Ramones were like pop rock.
Yeah,
like
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you could. Yeah, like punk. I never got the sense. Obviously, especially with the Clash. I mean. Yeah. But also with the Ramones, I mean, there was such a sense of melody with them. I mean, I could hear people saying like maybe the first pop punk band. Okay, cool. I could get down with that. But yeah, I mean, you hear some of the stuff that was going on in some of these cities during, the late 70s, and you're like, oh my, like this is aggressive.
Yeah. Well,
think about like Rockaway Beach,
He's into one of his favorite bands is a hardcore punk band called Blood for Blood. So I mean, they're pretty much in your face, anti-establishment, anti-government type of punk rock, pretty hardcore. Yeah. That's one of his favorite bands. So what do you guys think of a band like the Misfits? Were you guys any of you are aware of the Misfits, or did you like any of that?
The heaviest music I like is like Black Sabbath and Motorhead.
Mm-hmm. There's a fair amount on my list that posted that's kind of all over the place. There's a handful of like what I would call like progressive death metal type stuff on there. Like there are some, like I am into tasteful death growls and those types of things in my progressive metal.
Tasteful death growls.
That's right.
He's growling very tastefully.
I mean, Grant, I know probably you, Larry. Morris, what about you? Are you into like, you get that heavy with like the death growls or anything like that?
No, not really. Nope. Me is the screams like the Bruce Dickinson or even the Maynard James Keenan. They can do their yells. Their
yell, yeah.
That's as far as I get into it. And what did Scott Lade call it? The Cookie Monster voice.
The Cookie Monster, yeah.
I mean, that's appropriate. I'm not really into that Cookie Monster voice.
Yeah.
Cookie Monster voice.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole Misfits, Sam Hine, Danzig family is, it's a lot.
I like it. I do.
Have I done a shot yet? Maybe I should do a shot.
Not in a while.
No,
you gotta admit, Larry, it probably makes your back.
I'm almost done. I might as well just drink it right from the bottle.
Yeah,
it has been about an hour.
Yeah, I think I'll wait. So the pocket full of heap, I guess he's gone. I think he's
Yeah,
fixing his
audio
speakers.
problems.
He's fixing his audio. He's taking his whole computer apart.
It's a shame. It would have been fun talking with him.
So yeah, so are you both gonna be staying up until midnight?
If I can,
I
I'm
will.
usually asleep by 11 these
Yeah.
days. Don't get old.
Oh,
as
I'll
me.
be up. Yeah, I'll be up probably until like 3 in the morning.
Yes, let's all gather together and let's have a moment of silence for Pocket Full of Heap and his audio problems.
And
Let's send
also
him
for
some
Glenn
good wishes.
Calloway for not being able to join us.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn, for not being here. Oh, here's a big question for Alex. And you can be honest this time.
Oh.
What do you think of the Beach Boys?
Oh, I had a feeling this was coming. I like the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
I love Brian Wilson. Obviously, like I buy into the whole, Brian Wilson genius, Pet Sounds thing. For me, my relationship with the Beach Boys, I didn't even care about them or know about them outside of just, to me, the surf and USA type stuff until 2015. I saw Love and Mercy in the theater, and it blew my mind. I was like, this is one of my best movies I've ever seen. Like, I didn't even know about Pet Sound. Like, I knew nothing about any of that. And then that sort of started the path. I mean, I really like that kind of 65 to 72 period.
Yeah.
Before and after that, it's just not something that excites me. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't, love it all that much. But I think that era with, Holland and
Surf's Up.
Surf's Up and Friends and Smile, like all that, I really like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was funny watching the feud.
It was all year long. Even his last video for this year, Glenn, I was thinking, okay, good. He didn't mention me or the Beach Boys. And at the very end of the video, he does. He says he's had one issue this year, and he's had his problems. He sounds like he's all serious, and it turns into because I love the Beach Boys.
Yeah. What's funny? This is kind of, there's nothing more, I will say, like, there's nothing that like breaks your heart a little bit than loving an artist so much that you want like your best friends to love this artist just as much.
It's not always going to happen. Right?
And then like when they don't, it's like, no, you're wrong. You do love them. And yeah, so I totally see that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's Rachel's Ghost. Happy New Year, Larry and friends.
Happy New Year.
I'm only staying on for about 10 minutes or so more. But Rachel, if you want to come on, here's the link. I just want to warn you that Alex and Morris have been drinking Fireball, so they're a little tipsy.
A little bit.
Yeah, Dennis I still need to get his solo album. Yeah. Oh no, she took up my offer. What do I do now?
Well,
do I click add the stage, or do I click boot out of video chat? Oh, there she is.
Oh, scary. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Rachel.
Happy New Year.
What are you in, maple syrup? What are we doing?
No,
here?
it's Fireball.
Good Lord.
That's what I say.
It seems serious.
Well, it is serious.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So
you get doing the wrap up on the year, kind of what happened.
Yeah. Rachel, tell us about your whole year, starting with January 1st and going day by day.
Larry, you and I are the same age, so I am turning 67 in February.
That's old.
So, I mean, I can't remember yesterday, but breakfast, it's like what happened. It's an existential crisis because you wonder, where have I been? What's going on? And where did it all go? What, like 57? Well, what the hell was I doing when I was 50, 47, 37, you know? Maybe certain events. There goes the boss. We call her a producer around my show. But anyway, Larry, you know, I'm a big fan. I'm always shouting you out. Love you. Anytime anybody asks about the years and vinyl community and stuff, you and Joe Mayo, because you guys are my gateway into here. Then it was Northern Reflections after that. So, the way it all worked out, how it all works. But anyway, it's great to see you. And I just saw you were on, and I said, well, what the yaddle? Let's come up and say hi to Larry, you know.
So what are your favorite moments music-wise of this year?
Easy. First one is Dada. Our friend Joey Callio, he's a musician with the band Dada and another group called Seven Horse. They had a hit in around 1991 with a thing called Disneyland. And then Seven Horse had their music featured. It's called Meth Lab Zozo Sticker. It was featured in the movie Wolf of Wall Street with Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
So, you know, this guy's had some measure of success. So that's my number one, getting to know Joey. And I met him in Seattle. I went down to the States, saw Norman Masloff and Vinyl Community, Harry's Music Room, and different people there. And everybody was so great. And we had a lot of fun, you know, because I'm such a, you know, me, I'm a political animal in that there's a real politics, not, you know, with people or anything. I'm not really. People say, oh, you know, you love drama, but I don't really. I like fun. I like comedy. My show, if you want to know about my show, I try and get a laugh out of people. If I can get a laugh out of you, I win. It's a victory. You know, that's all I want to do. You know, like you in some ways, Larry. I mean,
I've been trying to get a laugh out of people for the last couple of hours, and it hasn't worked so far.
Oh, it works. Believe you me. So anyway, yeah. So I'm a happy cat. Oh, year end, I just upgraded.
Yeah.
So these are called Harbeth HL5 Super Plus DX speakers. And then I added this Hagel H400 amplifier. So I just got a guy on Facebook because I'm selling my old Marantz, a PM 6006. I said, I'll sell it for 400. He goes, well, you take 350? I go, I'd love to, but 400 is fair price on you. How about 375? So we'll see. We'll see if you'll go for the 375. Otherwise, I'm just going to be patient. I mean, you know, and then I got my ADS M1290s sitting here, the Black Beauties. Those are good speakers, but these are great speakers. I mean, they are just amazing. I also, another musical highlight, I put Sue in front of the camera to do the jazz tag, which is out early this year. Everything's out early this year. A lot of controversy about the tags coming out the door early. A lot of controversy about the tag. Yeah,
always drama.
You know. Anyway,
well, okay, Rachel, let me interrupt you here because I feel that you know, if there's one thing that, well, let me hold that back. So, as you may or may not remember, I created the prog tag last year.
Yeah, are you doing it this year?
Well, so that's the plan. I have my questions. They're done. They're written. I got my my go ahead from. So basically, somebody did it years and years and years ago, and then they didn't do it for a couple years. So I came in and did it. And then he had reached out and said, "Hey, I'm so glad you did this. Like, I was thinking about bringing it back."
Yeah.
Basically, I had deferred to him and said, "Hey, look, like if you want this back, you know, you can have it. If you want to work on it together, we can do that. Whatever." But he said, "Alex, go ahead. It's yours." My thing is right now, I'm like, there's so many going on right now that there is an oversaturation. And I'm sitting here and I was like, I don't want to do this until we're in January. But then I'm like, well, you know, somebody can come out and create their own, which is fine. I'm not going to be hurt by it. But I'm like, every day I click on YouTube, there's a new tag.
Correct. So Edwin got it. Now I love Edwin. Edwin, you know, coincidentally, you know, by the way, Gautreau, what a beautiful, beautiful French name, last name. I'm a Gaudreau, a Gaudreau. So I suspect somewhere along the line, the Gaudreaus and the Gautreaus are probably the same family. I'm related to anybody in Quebec, believe it. I'm with everybody. Every French Canadian has ever been. My people are. I'm. You know, the Plains of Abraham, where the big battle where Canada was born with Montcalm and Wolfe and all that. That was my 10th great grandfather, Martin. You know, Abraham Martin. And so, what do you do, right? It's all this French stuff. Anyway, I'm a Wa, I'm a Saint-Pierre, I'm a Vallée, I'm a Gautreau, I've got all this stuff going. But anyway, I've got a lot of Incheon too. I'm also so Alex, don't fear the Reaper. Well, no, I mean, that's not what I said. Alex, don't fear jumping in. Who cares if it's saturated? Make it happen because you got the full year to jump on and do the tag.
Sure.
Stake the flag. If you want to do it, I'll get behind you. And the thing with Edwin, I think he was too early with it. Everybody knows he was too early with it. But he's a feisty little Irish guy, born in Belfast, moved to Nanaimo, his hometown. I just happen to live in his hometown. I just moved here. But I'm on the island. I was born and raised on Vancouver Island. Right?
The thing is, Alex, I'm doing my prog tag first thing tomorrow morning. Just let
Alex, get it out fast, man, because it's going to be so crowded. But yeah, this does happen. Now, I did the Beatles tag last year. Now, Rob Walker's done kind of a tongue-in-cheek one with 5 questions. But I was really, because I did it last year. Nobody had done that for years. And there's no rules of succession. No. And I think maybe on some level there should be. Since you're doing the prog tag and you did it last year, it should be up to you to go, I am now passing the official reign. And then to avoid, just one last thing on that, because my only caveat about that, let's not click it around so that we go, oh, it's Alex Beer and Vinyl and his crew. Like if it was me, I would want to pass it off to somebody who doesn't watch my show, but I know they're out there, like Chris Prophy, Larry Gray. Oh, no, well, Larry watches my show on occasion, but, like Chris Prophy or, Sam St. John, somebody that's more removed from my crew, right? Sure. And because we all have our own crew, the people that we dance with. And so that would be the line of succession. I'm hoping you do it. I hope you put it out sooner than later because the way things are going, somebody's going to do it, right?
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, I love Wales. Merlin Scott, Welsh band. I'm doing all my Welsh genealogy. I'm big on genealogy. My adoptive history is all Welsh, but my biological history is French. So there you go. That's how that works. Anyway, that's my opinion, Alex. I think you should just go. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It was too early. And hello, Michael Nolan. I love you. Holy smokes. Busy day. I'm also going to have Mr. Stickermania tonight. We're ringing in the new year. He's excitable. I love Frank Stickermania. He's been so very kind to me. He got me, I got all the Beatles in mono, but he went and, where's my box? Oh, there it is. There's my Beatles in mono box. Moving things around. He got me the box. And then he got me the book that goes with the box, because I wanted to have the box, right? And he did that with no cost. And I've got some rare Beatle dolls up in here from 1964, the Remco, the little head things. Yeah. And he's just a great guy. So he wanted to bring in the new year at 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock Eastern. I'm in bed. Larry, full disclosure.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping. Yeah. But I got to stay up tonight. So, and also I got a Patreon going. I just thought I was going to show records when I came out to do the vinyl community and stuff, Yeah. I got a great record. I really want to show, and that would be it. But no, now it's like live stream in the morning. Go on here. See Larry.
I just want to show the album cover of the year one more time.
I've heard good things about this. It is
great. If you obviously you love Yes. This is as good as almost any Yes album, Rachel.
I'm hearing good things about it. I was just encouraged
except for the album cover.
Ago. Well, the album cover's a little, but I hear the band's great. John's playing and his voice is in good shape.
His voice is great.
Yeah. Probably that went in the prog tag album of the year. People are going to cite that album.
Now, I think the highlight of the year for me is that Diddy is in jail.
Diddy is in jail as a highlight? That would be the low light.
I think there should be a few more in jail.
Well, you're probably right about that. But it's just, Tanita Tikaram. This is like Finnish, isn't it? It sounds like a Finnish name, Tikaram. But this album. But this is a highly regarded album. People like it, seem to like it. 1980s, I think.
Yeah.
But, and then I like this. Dead Man. This is great. I had this one pulled for the sound vinyl soundtrack.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp and Deadman, Neil Young guitar work, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, I'm a big fan of XTC, so I got those have been on. And then I haven't even played this yet. It was gifted to me by Norman Maslow. Don't tell Mazzy I haven't played it yet. I've never owned this.
Yeah, that's great.
Egypt Station Public Art. It's a 3-album variant of it. Here's the thing with Paul. After 1982, Ballroom Dancing made a man of me. What does that even mean? But anyway, 1982, Tug of War, great album. Paul's in there. And, it's a great album. But after that, Paul started going, the girl's mine, Paul. I couldn't go with Paul.
I gave up on him, Rachel, for years, 26 years.
That's me too.
Yeah.
I'm still, but I think Mazzy's trying to get me back on the
He's got some great later albums. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Steve. Steve Sneeze here. He's a legend.
He's a legend in his own mind.
We love him. Holy, so you're giving him as much hard time as Rob the Wax does. Great to see Alex here, by the way. There he is.
Hey, how's the audio now?
Your audio's working.
Yay.
Well, it's time to go.
Perfect.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Pocketful of heat.
Yeah.
How was your year music-wise? Tell us what you like the most.
Oh man, it was a journey through all different eras of
wait,
music.
Wayne. First, you have to compliment me in some way.
Oh, well, thank you for having me on here, Larry.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Music here. Oh man. For the high class, high quality entertainment.
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, very. This year, musically, for me, was an adventure. Do the prog stream with Scott, so that's every week listening to about 20 or 30 albums and everything, and it's a lot of work. But this year it's just been like I've gone into indie, more into metal, more into like pop, just all different kinds of genres.
Yeah. Cool.
Wayne, remind me what your favorite prog albums were this year.
Oh God, let's see. I have it somewhere around here. I know one of them was the new Rosalie Cunningham album.
Oh,
I thought was really good. I know Notes Reviews don't like this, but I put the new Leprous album on there. Really enjoyed that one. And Mythologic was one of them.
And what did you think of the new John Anderson?
I thought it was actually really good. It perfectly blended kind of all the eras of Yes together.
Yeah.
And really, it's one of those albums where I was actually shocked at how really good it was.
Yeah.
Well, only thing missing now is Yes.
Yeah.
At least the surviving members of Yes.
Big Train. Yeah. I haven't really heard much of them.
No, they're a band that I hear Scott talk a lot about. They're a band I've been meaning to get into. Same with Neil Morse and his gazillion side projects. And
yeah. Well, I think it's time for a shot because I don't think I've had one yet.
But it's good for you. Put hair on your chest.
Well, look, Rachel, I need a bit more hair on my chest.
It looks good.
I'm trying not to brag.
It looks fairly good.
I just shaved my chest this morning. That's
okay, smokes. How would you get itchy?
Because there was hair everywhere.
Well, because you'll get itchy, wouldn't it, when it goes back?
No.
Holy smokes.
All right. Cheers, everybody, and Happy New Year.
There's Happy
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Sue, can you grab those two pictures? I got to do something. Hey, Larry, I got a big surprise for you. People, as you know, I've achieved what's called superstar status in the vinyl community. I put that as the latest thing. I'm now offering for $15. I know your viewers are going to want these as well. $15 for an 8x10 signed color glossy of yours truly. And I sign these and I send them out, and usually I just write, "Hey fan," something like that. But if push comes to shove, sure, I'll sign, "Hey Daryl, Janie, Bill, Todd," whatever you like there. And then I know a lot of you are more, yes, the classic 8x10. We've got them in black and white. So either black and white, glossy color, whatever you like, and I'll write, "Hey fan," on it for you for $15. It's incredible. It's just part of the exciting world of
You should
marketing.
do a calendar.
Somebody, I think it was Psycho Platters, was planning on doing a calendar of the women of the final community. There was some degree of kickback on this notion, mind you, but obviously I was prepared to be Miss February. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I love the idea.
Yeah.
Larry, to your comment down below, I'll definitely say "Freak Out" by Frank Zappa.
Oh, that's a good one. I was going to say King Crimson, their debut album, but what does everybody else think? The first prog album.
What do you mean? Like the greatest?
What was the very first prog album?
Oh, the first one that started the whole thing progressive. Whew. I don't know. Crimson, Court of Crimson King kind of comes to mind, I guess.
But Sgt. Pepper was almost proggy.
Has elements. It has elements of it. But then you could go, when Days of Future Past come out? Moody Blues, right?
67.
Yeah, so that takes it back.
I'd go either Days of Future Past, or my more formal pick would probably be the first record from the Nice, with 68. And then obviously Keith Emerson would go on with Emerson, Lake and Palmer, but yeah.
What's your favorite Canadian album 2024?
Ooh, what was it?
I guess Caveman and the Banshee for me. They're a couple. They own Noise Agony Mayhem music store in Nanaimo. So I'll give them a shout out because they're very nice people. And so I bought a bunch they do a lot of psych music. So it's more psych orientated stuff. So yeah, I'll give the Banshee and the Caveman album. And they've got a new one coming out too.
Cool.
Yeah.
My, I guess on my list that ranked the highest for a Canadian band, this was maybe 19 or 20, I forget the exact number. I think out in Rachel's province. I believe they're from BC. A band's called Ancients. It's called Beyond the Reach of the Sun. Now that is an album cover right there, people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks great.
But this is pretty heavy Cookie Monster, but also a little bit sludge a la Mastodon, that type of stuff too. So I actually think my review on this, the reason it ranked where it was, I think, and Wayne, have you heard this?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Got it.
It's like they do heavy. To me, they do heavy really, 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 really good. And I wish they did it more. It's like when they do more of like the sludgy, stonery metal stuff, I'm not as a fan of.
Yeah.
But either way, very cool, very progressive, very heavy. And I'm not sure from what city, but I know they're from BC. So Ancients with two eyes.
Cool.
The only one for me that comes to mind, that at least Canadian, that I've listened to this year would be Versa. Scott had him on the Prog Corner. So.
Sometimes with us, when we do Canadian artists, we all look at each other like they did on SCTV, a well-known Canadian actor. Everybody takes a blood. They still.
You know what? SCTV was the funniest.
Hilarious.
Nothing can compare to SCTV. Yeah.
I like it when the muskrat died. I mean, I don't like that the muskrat died, but the CBC truck is out in the road. The guy's doing some sort of ritual to get the thing back to life.
And what was it? 5 Cool Guys?
Yeah, the 5 Cool Guys. Mel's Rock Pile.
All right, y'all. I got to get going off to my party. But Larry, thanks for having me on. Rachel,
you're welcome, Al.
Morris, Wayne,
everybody, check out beer and vinyl. When this video's done, I'll have a link for your channel below.
Thank you, Larry. Happy
You're
New Year,
welcome.
everyone. Be safe.
Happy New
Be
Year.
well. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Happy
Now,
New Year, Alex.
As soon as a guest leaves, we insult them. Thank God he's gone. He was so annoying.
He's becoming a big star, and I hope
Hit
he
the
does,
bricks.
I hope he does do the prog thing, that he releases a tag
Yeah.
sooner than later, because somebody's going to come in there and take it away from him. If
You
he
know
does.
what? I think for YouTube, there's no rules. If I want to
No.
do a tag, I'm just going to do a tag. I don't
Yeah.
care if somebody else did it before. I'm going to do a Beatles tag.
What?
Don't get me started.
Holy smokes!
Or
You
I'll
could
have
do
more.
it.
More.
You're big,
Yeah.
yeah, like you're a big channel. Like you could do it. Like I felt the same way about myself. But nobody was doing the Beatles, so I said I'll take it on last year, and everybody was doing them anyway.
Yeah.
And now this year, there's a sweet lady named Patricia. She's got a channel called A Little Beatles Corner, and I just love her. She was just in Liverpool, and she's doing this whole Beatles tour. She's just a Beatle maniac. And we just think the world of her. And so she's hoping to release her tag on the 3rd of January. That's the one I'm kind of handing the baton off, because I just wanted to do it as a one-off and just get the idea. And people saying, yeah, Beatles tag, what a natural. How many of us are Beatle nuts out here, right?
Yeah.
Beatles all over the place. And she's just a sweet lady, loves the band, very honest about it. So I'm certainly going to back her when she does her tag on that. So
What
yeah,
is her
look at
name?
that. Patricia, A Little Beatles Corner is the name of her channel, and it's growing, and I think she'll end up doing very, very well. So I've kind of, really taken her to heart and trying to encourage her and build her channel up. So everybody, if you love the Beatles, please subscribe to Patricia's channel. Only if you have a wrench. You cannot put a link in without a wrench, because it stops the spamming.
Yeah.
We don't like spam.
Held for review.
That's right, Wayne. That's right. Nice to meet Wayne. So you're working with Scotty at the Prog Corner?
Yeah.
I love Scott.
Every Sunday we do the prog stream together. And
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I love Scott. He's
My
fantastic.
only issue with Scott is
Yeah.
he's a little bit too laid back and quiet.
I know he
Like,
needs
he
to
needs
come
to
out
drink
of his
some
shell a
coffee
bit.
or something to get a little more
smidge.
energy, you know?
Yeah. Wayne, you probably dominate the conversation. I
Oh
assume.
man, I do. Yeah, with Scott and his instead of one Mountain Dew an episode, he might need two.
And Wayne, where are you in this great big world of ours? Where are you located?
Camrose, Alberta.
Camrose, Alberta. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful little town. I know Alberta well. My mom and dad lived in Drumheller, of all places.
Okay, that's only about a
Dinosaur
yeah.
country out there. Just take the 101. Keep on going there. Dinosaur Trail.
Yeah, it's Camrose. Yeah, we have the Big Valley Jamboree. That's our big country music festival here every year, and
Yeah, Camrose is a very pretty little town, because I know Calgary and Airdrie outside of there, and Stettler and Hannah and all these little towns, Medicine Hat, Lethbridge, all these places. Alberta's great. And of course, during the 80s, I had to cheer for Edmonton, because my beloved Maple Leafs just weren't bringing the cup home during the 1980s, and they decided to take the 1990s off as well. And since they took the 70s off, I figured, okay, well, maybe just, every 20 years, go cheer for somebody else, at least so I can say, we won. But the idea was to keep the cup in Canada too. But what a rivalry with Calgary and Edmonton. Holy smokes.
oh man, yes. A few years ago, watching some of those games, even though the game isn't quite as physical, you can definitely tell when Edmonton and Calgary play together.
Yeah, they feel it. Yeah. Go Habs. My kid brother was a Montreal fan. Bobby Russo. Can you imagine? Number 15 in your programs, number 1 in your hearts. Bobby Russo, number 15 for the Habs. But my favorite player was Dave Keon, number 14, Toronto.
Okay.
And I still remember, like, if we had Czech cereal, and anybody remember Czechs, and you had to cut the back out, and they had these like 5x4 pictures of your favorite hockey player, the Canadian ones, right? So you got like Dave Keon, Bob Pulford, my mom's favorite Bob Pulford, Brian Conacher. Every kid wearing glasses in the world loved Brian Conacher because, the contacts. You see, I can't remember what I ate for breakfast yesterday, Larry, but I remember 1967 and the Chief raising the cup, and it was great. They had Bobby Bond. Remember Bobby Bond?
Yeah.
And Red Kelly, the fiery tempestuous Red Kelly. Holy
I was such a big Maple Leafs fan from 1972, and then about, I don't know, 15 years ago, I finally just gave up on them, Rachel.
You've given up.
And they haven't won a Stanley Cup since.
Since 67, yeah. That's why Toronto fans remember it so well. It's the last decent memory they have.
It's just horrible. Because, we're only 2 years away now from it. But remember 60 years ago when the Leafs won the Cup? It's like a bygone historic thing. Did it even happen? They're questioning the moon landing and whether the Leafs actually won the darn thing. This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is where we find ourselves on the verge of 2025.
I grew up liking the Habs and the Leafs and hating Boston, and go figure.
Yeah, the Boston Bruins. Yeah, they were tough. And they were rough and tumble. Ken Hodge, he was good. I like Ken Hodge from them, the Bruins. Of course, Orr, reinventing the defenseman position. Bobby Orr, legend.
Yeah.
Espo back in the days. Big Phil.
Happy New Year's, guys. And my mom was a nurse who helped bring forth Davy Keon's son. Cool.
Shannon, thanks for your mom's help. I'm sure Davy and his wife are very grateful that this occurred. And that's quite the story. But yeah, my favorite player, Dave Keon.
Hating Buffalo too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I saw Buffalo. I was living in Winnipeg in 19 because my dad was RCMP, so we traveled across the country. So I'm living in Fort Garry, Manitoba. 1971, I go out to see the Buffalo Sabres play the Pittsburgh Penguins because it was the year of the franchise. It was either 70 or 71. But Gilbert Perreault scored. He scored 3 goals that night. And it was, everybody knew this was a hot new talent coming in that year in the draft. Everybody goes, look up for Perreault. All the skills in the world, but he couldn't finish. That was the thing with Gilbert at the end of the day. Never were able to bring the cup home for Buffalo.
Yeah.
No, those poor fans. I know if Edmonton would have won it last year, oh man, the party that would have been in Edmonton.
Yeah, all across Canada, really.
Yeah, nobody would be going to work for about a week.
Frank, the big M. Frank and Pete, kid brother Pete.
Yeah,
Frank
Pete
and
Mahovlich.
Yeah, I had my friend who's Croatian kid. These are like more Croatian names, like Frank Mahovlich. So he's going, oh, he's a guy, and he's trying to make everything really Croatian for him. So, we goes, oh, it's like Pete Zessel or something. He's going, yeah. Like he's trying to make it sound more Eastern European, like, yeah. He's great. And so we're like, yeah, we get it. We know it's Zessel. Okay. We know he's like, it's not Smith or Jones. It's Zessel. But anyway, we loved him. He's our friend. We loved him. But he was big on these Slavic hockey player names, He just loved that.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna end this. I know.
Oh, you're ruining your show.
You just ruined my whole day.
You can't do the beer and vinyl 5-hour streams there, Larry.
Oh no, I could never do that. So first off, Wayne, tell us about your channel, and after this, I'll have a link for everybody's channel below. So
that's a lot of work.
So my channel's a pocket full of heap. Right now doing a ton of reactions to just different music, and that really reinvigorated my love for music. Was just discovering all this stuff that, quite honestly, I never heard of, or because of where I'm located, not really easily accessible. So did that, and in the new year, going to be starting a sort of a podcast going forward, just once a week, talking about one album, just pick an album, and me and a guest, rotating guest, just discuss the album. Trying to keep it to right around about half an hour to 45 minutes, something very easily digestible for everybody.
Okay, cool. And Morris, tell us about your channel.
Well, I'm still going to continue making videos into the New Year's. My goal is to have 3 more hundred. I want to have 1,000 videos by the end of 2025.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue, and I'm going to try to upgrade my channel. I'm going to try to talk more. I want to talk more about music. I usually kind of go back and forth between different topics, but I really want to focus on cool, positive music. Like I said, I'm going to start ordering music again. I haven't been doing so in the last few days and the last few months and stuff. So yeah, the last album I bought, and that was within months, was this one here. So
Yeah.
the last brand new album. So just stay tuned to my channel. You're going to see a lot of content in the new
And
year.
Morris, I didn't know, but you're a Sparks fan. I see Sparks behind you.
Oh, I love that poster. Such a great poster.
I wish I had that poster, Morris. I'm not hinting.
Christmas.
That's definitely a band I need to check
No,
out.
I am actually working on a package that I'm going to be sending maybe at the end of January to Larry Graves. I want to have a couple of drawings in there. I'm going to do a couple of drawings for him.
And that's why you're always on my live chats, Morris. Thank you.
For gifts.
And I was going to say this. I'm sorry, Rachel, but there's not enough time for you to talk about your channel because it's time
just
to go.
buy the pictures, okay? That's all you need to do.
I love those pictures.
Look, it's so reflective.
It is.
It's just
there's a story in that picture.
Yeah,
there's
every picture tells a story. Rod Stewart told me. But anyway, I got a channel. It's 3 hours long every day at 6 o'clock Pacific. I get a cast of characters join me. First hour, I kind of do a monologue kind of blurb, all about whatever interests you, whether there's UFOs or if there's some sort of flooding somewhere, whatever it is, because everybody's talking music, what we do. So I float around. I talk about where genealogy. I do about genealogy. Here's where my grandmother is in Gaspé, and then we go on from there. But it bores everybody. They all cry, no genealogy. They scream out. Then I'll start singing, hello, my baby, hello. And they go, stop singing too. So eventually it just becomes a very painful experience for all involved. And many people, about 90% of you, I tell you, stay the hell away from my channel. Don't go anywhere near it. You won't like it. I'm saving you the trouble. But anyway, I've got this killer system. And I'm going to bring in the new year with Frank Sticker Mania tonight, 8 o'clock on my channel. And he's a Beatle dealer collector. And he's got all these expensive Butcher albums. He's got like 14 Butcher albums. I'm selling one here, buy a Butcher album. Really amazing guy. And we're just so happy about him. How come Daddy Bog got banned? We love Daddy Bog.
Well, I thought he was being rude.
Oh, no, he's Daddy Bog. He's my pal. He's from New York. He's a Beach Boy. He's a sweet Beach Boys guy. He loves me. No, we're good friends. He's a good boy. It'll take you a while to get him out of jail. I'm sorry, Daddy Bug. We love you.
Do you have any of the Butcher album covers?
Do you know myself? I've got a picture disc version. I don't have a first, second, third state. I don't have any of the real McCoys. Larry, I got a lot of Beatles. I got BC13 up here. I got the new American one, the monos. I got Beatle mono, Beatle stereo. I've got the Liverpool from Liverpool. Where the heck's that? From Liverpool's over. Oh, keep going. Liverpool's over in there. So I've got all these, and then I got them all on CD as well. I've even got over here, I got a Japanese Mobile Fidelity box set. See, Beatles, I got Beatles. In fact, all this is Beatles in there.
Yeah.
And then over here is all Beatles, nothing but. So, and those are like, I've got every UK first or second pressing, like on Please Please Me, purchase of the year, Please Please Me, mono, 1963, UK, but not with the gold label, the old-timey Parlophone, looks like a cowboy record. The one with the yellow label, I got second one, right?
Cool.
So, generally, I mean, Pictures Disc is just the Butcher album cover. And one last thing, because sorry, Larry, I know you want to get the heck out, but this book was a big deal. The Beatles Illustrated Record. I didn't even know about the Butcher album until 1975. Right? I'm a kid, and then this is the first time that I ever saw the Butcher album. But it was they showed it in this crazy album here. Here it is, right on the front piece.
Yeah,
the font piece. So and it was the first time being Canadian. I had never seen these European covers, so I knew all our stuff, but like this, I'd never seen it. And it was such a big picture of it. My little how old am I in 1975? Right, 17. So I could focus on it because you're 17. You don't have a care in the world.
Yeah,
maybe puberty issues, post-puberty depression, but other than that, I was all good to go. Anyway, Larry, thank you as always for being so kind and allowing me to come on your great show. You're truly one of the elder statesmen in the business. You're just a kid. I'm older than you are.
I'm just a kid.
Yes, you're a punk kid.
Okay, so thanks, Morris. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Wayne. And thanks, everybody, for
Larry.
For talking.
Larry.
Yeah, thank you.
By the chat. I'll finish this off.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Rachel. Everybody. Have a great New Year.
And make sure you check out everybody's channel.
Yeah. Wayne, you got to use your channel name and your name so you're easier to find.
Yeah, not just
a pocket full of porridge or something. I'm looking for something out there, but I'll find Morris quicker. I'll find Morris. Morris, I'll give you a sub. Thanks, Larry, for having us on.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Have a great New Year.